There's a difference between need and want. And many times we think because, yes, people need my solution, but the question is, do they want it? Because people only buy what they want, not what they need. The mistake that many of us make, many business owners make, is that you want to sell what you want, you know, because you've fallen in love with, say, for example, you bake cakes. So you bake cakes because you love, somebody told me, I love to smell the smell of cake. And so you're going to sell that because you love it, because it's what you want to sell. But the question is, what do your customers want to buy? Is it cake? And if it is cake, what type of cakes? Because the danger in just selling the products that you want or the service that you want is because then you will have to really work hard to look for customers who want to, who want like you. Many times is that you are like the only customer for your product. So you need to find out, what do people want to buy? And now, for example, there's this craze for, healthy eating. People have been told that no, sugar is bad. So how do you position yourself? Yes, it could be cake, but can it be different? Must it have sugar, or must it have the things that people are complaining that they don't want to have? So it is important to ask, what do my customers want to buy? So that's why I say that sales is about listening. You listen to, what do people want, because so long as they want it, they will pay for it. There's a difference between need and want. And many times we think because, yes, people need my solution, but the question is, do they want it? Because people only buy what they want, not what they need. And I'll give an example. When I started selling life insurance, I actually knew, who my customers were, because I was training government officials, people from, WFP, people from UN. These are these are people with money, people who could afford my products, and they need it because they have children that they need to take education policies for. But then when I called them and then they stopped picking my calls, I had to ask myself, it is true they need it, but what exactly do they want? Because they needed my product, but they don't want it. And as I kept asking them, because you need to ask, don't assume answers. Ask. The Bible says, ask and shall be given unto you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door shall be opened unto you. So if you don't ask, then you don't receive. In fact, there's a verse in the Bible that says, my people do not receive because they do not ask. And when they ask amiss. And of course, it continues. I just want to pick it from there, that you must ask, but then also, even as you ask the right questions. Ask rightly. To date, actually, and many jobs, are being taken away by AI. Do you know there's only one thing that you need to know? How to ask questions. Because if you're a content creator, for example, I don't need a content creator if I know the questions I have, because I just go to AI and I'll ask the right question and I'll get the answers. So the question is, do you know what is the right question to ask? So ask your customers what they want. And what I found out with my customers then was that they were struggling to make, to have money at the end of the month. So mostly they will have more month at the end of the money, and instead of more money at the end of the month. And so I asked, so how can I help them be able to get out of that, cycle, the cycle of, not having enough? And that is, but that's common with workforce, especially in Kenya. And I decided, or I tried, because you have to test. When they say, when customers say this is it, they actually didn't say that's their struggle, but I observed. And that is part of listening. And I started training them on budgeting. I created an event which I was calling Friday PM Talk, Tea and Talk. And basically, people would just come, they pay for their tea, and I share on budgeting. How do you budget? I had to educate myself on budgeting. So I teach them on budgeting. And then other issues came up. They were struggling with debt. Okay, so I started inviting speakers to come and speak to them on debt management. And, voila, they started having more money at the end of the month. And now they're able to manage their debt because they're more now literate, they're more educated on debt management. And you know what happened? People started looking for me to buy insurance. Why? Because I gave them what they want, and in the process, of course, they got even what they need. Why? Because when I was training them on goal setting, then I was able to educate them on how does insurance come in helping you achieve your goal. And that's how I became one of the top sales agents in the country. So, what am I saying? Listen, listen. And listening is not just, saying, yeah, I'm listening. You need to listen. The Chinese and Japanese have a very good description of what listening is. It's actually a symbol that signifies you need to listen with your ears. You have two. You need to listen with your eyes, and you need to listen with your mind and your heart. So basically, you have four faculties for listening and only one mouth to speak. So in my conclusion, you need to listen 4-1, a ratio of 4-1. That if you have 5 minutes, you spend 4 minutes observing, listening, thinking, comprehending what the person is saying, and empathizing. The heart is for feeling, empathizing with that person. And then speak once. And what should you be saying? You should be asking the right question so that you listen more. Okay? So, the question I get asked is, how do I know what product is for which segment? You have to find out who needs it, who has the problem that you solve, and then communicate to them so that when they see, they know, oh yeah, this is for me, they come for it. Are you enjoying this content? Do you think that somebody else, your friends, can benefit from it? Be our Samaritan woman. You know the Samaritan woman, what she did when she discovered Jesus? She went to the village and said, come and see. Come and see a man who has told me things that I've never heard. And we are requesting you to be our Samaritan woman. Go to your friends, your relatives, your colleagues. Let them come and see some content that can transform their sales life, that can transform their business. Because we are about to bring transformation to people's businesses. Remember, our goal is you grow from X to 20X. Become a 20X entrepreneur. To do that, you also need to give. Give, and it shall come back to you. Full measure shaken together and running over. You see, you have to give, and then it will come back to you. Full measure shaken together and running over. And that's what sales is about, giving. And when you're given, you receive. So I am requesting you to subscribe to our channel and share with your friends and relatives. And let's keep spreading this gospel. Thank you. See you